Hello, this is J.N.S, and today we are continuing with the Queen Mothership Enterprise Architecture series, and we are on part 8. And this was a part of a framework that I developed, a book that I published in January, and it was about the Queen Mothership Part 2 Enterprise Architecture, a guide to rebuilding Black America. And, in part 1 of this series, we talked about what an enterprise architecture is. We went into depth about what that entails. And then in part 2, we covered the governance, as well as like the systems in place that we have for the Admiral branch and how to elect those who would participate in the Queen Mothership. And then in part 3, we covered the culture and social fabric of the Queen Mothership. We talked about a myriad of things regarding land acquisition, leadership, all types of things relating to our social fabric, our technology, our education, and whatnot. And then in part 4, we talked about the economics, which consists of a trust, as well as a bartering system, an updated version of a bartering system that is based on technology. And then in part 5, we talked about defense and what that entails. In part 6, we talked about how to gain power via various technology apparatuses such as fusion power, renewable energy, as well as antimatter. And part 7, we talked about sustainable villages and whatnot. And now we are on part 8. And so part 8 consists of more elaboration from part 7. And this one is going to involve more of the Queen Mothership Village activities, though. So we want to actually talk about what type of activities are people expected to practice within this common house. Because in part 7, we went into details about the common house, which is pretty much the center of which we will host a lot of events where we would meet, where we would do a lot of our entertaining, and it is the center stone of the Queen Mothership Intentional Community Village. And so I wanted to talk more about the fun things about the Queen Mothership, because a lot of the logistics can be quite boring. A lot of the infrastructure talk and whatnot can be very tedious. And so I want to cover some of the more fun things that Black Americans are expected to engage in regards to the Queen Mothership. And that way you guys can get a sense of, okay, so there are actual benefits and tangible benefits that can enrich the quality of your life. And so that is where I want to start. At first I want to say, I appreciate the support of anyone who still is rocking with me, who understands, what I've been going through and whatnot, because it has been very heavy for the last couple of weeks. And I'm just now becoming more grounded, pretty much returning back more into, a humanesque form, and whatnot, and I'll be transparent as much as possible without freaking you out, or without alarming the public, and making sure I protect myself and making sure I don't talk too much. But we are in the days where there is a change of guard happening, and a change of guard spiritually and a change of guard physically. But there's also, a return of very prominent energy back onto this planet, that of the ancient ones and that of the divine feminine, which is an order, a spiritual order that transcends gender and race and whatnot. And so there's a heavy battle, a spiritual battle between those forces, and between those of us who signed up to usher in a certain set of consciousness for this planet, and those who are literally just scared shitless because they know their time is up. So there's been a standoff in the heavens. There's been a standoff in the heavens that is actually starting to manifest in this third dimensional realm, 5D, 7D, whatever you want to say. But there's this huge standoff, and you see this breakdown of a system, that people are trying to uphold. And there are better ways, and those of us who have these certain genetic markers, certain chi and certain gematria and certain, spiritual genealogy, what have you, are literally being targeted for death. If I'm being quite frank, literally being targeted, and for their soul, and for them to get down with the current corrupt system. And so we've had to literally fight spiritually, like arm ourselves in the spiritual realm, and go out and fight. And like you would see, the archangels, Archangel Michael, with his sword. When you Google pictures of the Archangel Michael and the angel kingdom and all that stuff, and you see, these battles in the spiritual realm, like that's literally taking place right now. And everyone amongst you that you may perceive as human, or you may perceive to be on your level, is not. And there are those of us who don't have a problem saying that, and there are those of us who want to hide that. So you're at a standoff still. You have a standoff in terms of how are you going to run this system? How are you going to continue, as far as this vanguard? And so you have those of us there's like, let's come out and tell the people the truth. You have those of us like, let's just keep it going because these humans are collateral damage and cannon fodder. And then there's those of us who would like to see this overall dimension ascend consciousness and to transcend the current level that they are at. And then you have those of us who don't give a damn about hiding who exactly they are, what rims they come from, what dimensions, and who the fuck they are. And then you have some that are like, what are you doing? You cannot blow our cover, And for those of you who get it, you get it, And this may come off like, okay, I'm losing you. Where are you going with this? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going on with J.N.S? You have to transcend your consciousness to that is more interdimensional in the coming days, in the coming years, because it's coming. And you don't want to be deceived though, because as we're going into a more interdimensional consciousness where humans are awakening, what's going to happen is that there's still going to be levels of deception that try to trap you into a certain set of energy, and so you want to be careful to make sure that you are discerning everything and discerning everyone, and checking with the spirit. Is it the spirit of love? It is the spirit of truth. It is the spirit of enlightenment, or is it the spirit of deception? Is it the spirit of falsity? Is it the spirit of lies? And so you're going to have that discernment as we move forward, because there are going to be some truths revealed to you. And there are going to be some things that you're going to be like, damn, that was a huge misinterpretation for the last 2,000 years. These are things that I thought were true. These were things that you hold dear. You're going to realize that, unfortunately, a lot of it was lies. A lot of it was deception. And so you're going to have to contend with that. And as you're contending with realizing, okay, the falsities of dogma, the falsities of organized systems and structures, organized beliefs, as you let those go, and as you realize that those are limiting, or that they don't hold a purpose to your higher self anymore, then you are in charge with recreating that, your essence. You're charged with recreating your belief systems and the things you want to do and the things you want to actually manifest. And so that point is where you want to be very careful and make sure that you're doing it from your own volition, and make sure that you're doing it from your own soul, because that is where the powers that be, or the players that be, is going to try to manipulate you and to try to tell you what to believe and try to get you onto their paradigm, as we're ushering in a different age that is more fair, that is more inclusive, that is more transparent for everyone. And so I say that to say that is I am one of the people and entities that has been charged with ushering that new vanguard, and also destroying falsehoods and certain limiting beliefs. And I'm not the only one. There's many of us. I've probably taken the most hits because I'm the most public, and that's been by design. But there's a lot of us that are charged with ushering that new paradigm, not just for the human race, but for pretty much a galactic level. And so it's a heavy price to pay when you're in the dimension that is ran on deception, that is ran on keeping things secret, that is ran on making sure that people externalize their power, that people believe in mind control, and they're not really critically thinking or thinking for themselves. And so when you're in a system like that, it can be very, very much daunting on the people who are there to elevate that system. If you have been charged through by God to elevate a certain system that is fighting against you, and that's fighting against God, and it's fighting against the truth, and it's fighting against love, and it's fighting against enlightenment, then you're gonna have those moments where you are in full-blown spiritual warfare. And so what I need you guys to understand is, for the last 3 weeks, that I have been literally in spiritual warfare. I have been literally in multiple dimensions, fighting spiritually, not just for myself, but for others. But also, obviously, there was complete attacks upon me as well. And you have to fight, and so I'm just now coming out of that energy, that mode, and I'm not saying it won't pick back up again, but right now things are starting to work in our favor, and so for those of us that know, and for those of us that can understand, I ask for your continued support. I don't want anything from you guys. There are people that may have been turned off by me because I've come off so strong in my message, and I come off guns blazing, pretty much, metaphorically. And so that can be looked at as reckless to other people. And so I understand that, and I lost support, and in many ways, I have completely been deceived by people that I thought loved me very much so. And that is also another thing, another element of trauma that you have to contend with, that I am contending with. Luckily for me, I have ascended in certain levels of my consciousness where I don't have attachments to anyone or anything or any place. And so that, in that sense, I've gotten lucky, where with these circumstances and the day and time that we are in, it is absolutely imperative that you become unattached to the I guess you would say physical realm, but that's not the right word I want to use either. But it's important to just not become attached to Maya, to these illusions, the illusions of even family and friends, and so I, at any moment, given my mission and given my purpose and my godhood, can detach from anyone in any place at any time for any reason, if it does not serve me. And when in the context of what I had to deal with, and I hope and I know you guys won't understand what I'm saying, but can you imagine the closest people to you that you think love you, that you think got your back, that you think you can depend on, and that you think, really is riding out for you, like your closest people to you, like say your parents, and say your friends, and say your family. Can you imagine if all of those people were actually plotting to end you or plotting against you? Can you imagine how that would feel? I just want you to think of people that you feel as your closest, that you really think love you, or people that you actually really admire, and that, and they're all in on this conspiracy to literally off you and to get rid of you because of an order, or because of what they can gain out of ensuring that they get rid of you. So if you can try to imagine how that would feel, and imagine coming into that revelation, and how heavy that would be, and how that would feel, how painful that can feel. And I need you to know that that is an element of what I'm dealing with. And so, um, again, I've had to obviously alter my consciousness in a sense of where it's kind of like it's either you or me. And I'm not a psychopath by any means. I'm very compassionate. I'm very, very much compassionate. But in the sense of where you lose everyone in an instance like that due to their deception, you have to click. Something in your brain has to click to where you make sure that you survive, and that you make sure that you protect your heart, and you protect your mind, and you protect your soul against such demonic energy, because you're literally fighting against the demonic realm at that point. And so there are people that that smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place, even if you don't. You would think like, because I don't have much money, I don't have much like in this physical realm, but spiritually I'm loaded. Spiritually I would be like a trillionaire, and I'm not bragging, it just is what it is. And so those in the know, they see that, and those who see that want to take that. And I'm not the only one with those gifts and with that's loaded like that. There are humans, there are entities that are walking around that are spiritually loaded, spiritually gifted, and there are literal demonic. There are people with that don't have that access to those realms, that don't have access to those gifts, that literally say they see it, they want it, they take it. That's how it goes in this realm. Just so you know, if you haven't woken up to how this stuff works. And so you have to be able to protect yourself. You have to know these things. You have to be on guard, and you have to be with God, in order to get through those type of things, as God with God. And so, internally and externally. But this is how this realm works. And it's a very low realm, and it won't always be this way. But this is a realm where people see, and those in the know spiritually, if they see something and they go and they take it, and then they realize, sometimes you come up against a force that you shouldn't, that there are bigger forces at play with certain elements. And so there's consequences. Things you can't just always do what you think you're going to do to a person. And so I say that, and many of you could be listening to me and still be on that tip of that one of those people that actually want to see me out, that want to one of the ones that are against me, and I just ask that you just move on, and don't listen to my shit, or don't listen to me. I want true, genuine relationships with people, and with my friends, and whatnot. And so I'm starting over. I'm in the process of where I'm completely reinventing, not necessarily myself, but certainly my circle, and certainly my outlook on humans, my outlook on Black Americans, my outlook on Africans, race-based consciousness, spirituality. Is my outlook on everything is completely expanded based off of the things that I went to in the last 3 weeks, because I've literally been someone who has been fed to the wolves by a community that thought loved me, my family that I thought, so it's incredibly eye-opening. In the grand scheme of things, knowing what I know about myself and who I am, I should have expected it, and it should not have been shocking. Should not have been shocking. So in that sense, that gives me that sense of comfort. Like, well, what the fuck did you expect, given who you are? And a lot of times people can know more about you than what you can know about yourself spiritually. Sometimes you realize it, you won't realize how gifted you are, how special you are, but other people can see that shit, and they either want to take it or take you out. Or what can they get out of it? Or how can they benefit from it? And so I would say to anybody that's dealing with that, and dealing with what I went through, anybody that's dealing with, you're gifted, you got, you're loaded spiritually, and that there's people plotting on you, and you got you suspect your parents, or you suspect your friends, or you suspect anybody is sabotaging you, or anybody that you got an inkling that people are around you and they don't really mean you no good, you better follow that shit. Don't second guess yourself and get away from them. And don't be afraid. Don't be attached to nothing or no one. Okay? Do not be afraid. It's better to be a god alone on a high vibration than to be a peasant among a bunch of whacked out psychopathic loser motherfuckers. You understand me? It's better to be a god alone in your own resonance, on your own silos of consciousness, than to be around some whacked out loser ass bitches that ain't got no talent, that can't measure up, that done sold they sold a minute ago, and they trying to look for another come up. It's better for you to be alone. Do you understand me? Whoever is listening, if you know you are special, protect yourself. And don't be afraid to know who you are. It's good to be humbled, and it's good to always have that self-awareness, and always be in that constant state of evolution and progress and learning, and being a master student as well as the master teacher. Okay? And so those things are great, and being humbled and whatnot. But if you know you that nigga, you know you that bitch, then know it. Walk in it. Seriously. Walk in it. Be proud of who you are, and be thankful to the gods and to the heavens, or whoever higher force you believe in, for giving you those gifts. And remember, when we talk about like this God consciousness, is like, okay, do you think you're a god, and who the hell are you, and whatever. We are all gods. We are all sons of the Most High, and we have to remember that what that means to be a part of the co-creation of the universe, of the Godhead, or what you would call source, and understand what that means to be participatory in that infinite intelligence. That doesn't mean that you just blow a gasket and think that you are the obvious, the god of this entire system and creation and universe, or universes rather, galaxies. No, we're not saying that, but we are saying that you are an element, a component of that. And so you cannot be a child of God and not see yourself as a god. Let's just look at the logic. Repeat what I said just now and think of that. And there's your answer. Okay? And so, heavy tangential talk, I get it. In terms of, okay, we're supposed to be talking about the Queen Mothership. What are you doing, Kylie? Again, I just wanted to get that off my chest. It's been a lot, guys. And, I'm going to maintain my peace. I'm going to maintain my love and my frequency and at all times, and so I want to share to you what's really going on with me. Because you guys can pick up on that. I've been crashing out on Twitter, but when I say crashing, I mean, sometimes you just share a little bit too much, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta really just say that, oh my gosh, and it happens, but in interdimensionality and quantum entanglement shit, it happens. And so I want to continue with our Queen Mothership series, part 8. This is again informational, because we're going to be going on the grounds with this, and I have a plan for that. And I want to still be here. Again, I'm not going to give up. I'm not suicidal. I'm not none of that. They're going to have to take me out. Because I'm not doing nothing wrong but living in truth and righteousness and love and peace. So and with that being said, let's continue with this Queen Mothership. And for women, Black women, and the collective of women, I want you guys to really study my work, and really study this framework, and implement it. You don't have to follow me. A lot of, I don't know how women get their catty, they can't follow order and rank and get in fucking formation. But you ladies are more than welcome to start a chapter and be the boss, and be the one that starts this. Many of you are very amazing organizers. Many of you are very amazing leaders as women, and so I need your voice, and I need your energy. And by that, I'm not saying give me your energy. I mean, I need you to stand up for the divine feminine as well, is what I mean by that. and in support. If you see this Queen Mothership and you like it, please support it publicly, because there are a lot of efforts on so many levels, on a spiritual level, on a governmental level, on the niggatry level, that are literally forces against what I am doing. Powerful forces, and the likes that you wouldn't believe. And then there are some powerful forces that are backing me. I have some heavy hitters, physically and spiritually. So, we'll be good. But if you're a woman out here and you know that it's time for the divine feminine, you can feel that energy, you can feel that vanguard changing, you can feel your power, you can feel your ascension, you can feel your pineal gland increasing and opening. You know that you're getting more gifts, you're getting more enlightenment, you're getting more awareness. Please help me spread this message of the divine feminine. Help me usher in this age. Okay, and again, this is not about hating men and being against men. It's same for men. If you know that, because guess what, men play a very important role in the divine feminine. And if you are one of the ones that are son of Ma'at, and you are one of the ones that are chosen, and you choose yourself, obviously, but if you are one of the ones that's like, you know what, I remember those days, and I remember ancient, in the ancient sense of my DNA, that this is what we're supposed to be pushing, because there are kings in the divine feminine Queen Mothership. There are kings, there are male leaders and whatnot. Again, we're not trying to convince the men that they need this or they have to do this, but if you are also a male that is awakening, and there are many that of you that are, speak out, speak up, because again, this is an order, and we need as much hands on deck in ushering that age of truth and liberation and enlightenment and love for humanity and for entities galactically. And I know you guys are like, oh, you're saying the entities are the humans with only. Come on, wake up. Come on. Are many of you even human? You may think that you're human. You actually may think that you were born human. So some of you who are running around here, I am a Homo sapien and all this stuff. Some of you, you may not even be human at all, seriously, and you just have not awakened to that, and you have been deceived. You could possibly have been deceived by even your own parents. It gets deep. It's a huge rabbit hole. It's a huge rabbit hole, and some of you have even been kidnapped. Some of how do I say this without freaking you out? Okay. So some of you, some nefarious species may have kidnapped you as a Pleiadian, as a Lemurian, or even as an Atlantean, or have hybrid mixed you up with humans, and then you. Born into parents, born into some family where you're thinking that you are actually just human, and you've been raised as a human. But it's deep. This is deep. I ain't gonna say much else. I ain't gonna be trying to get me off. But oh yeah. Some of you have literally been kidnapped by. It gets deep. It gets deep. And we're talking about a spiritual kidnapping, not so much like, in a physical sense. Like some of you, man, it's so deep. We'll have to have another video about that. But all I say is, keep an open mind with me. You guys know, I'm going more into the spiritual teachings. I'm gonna get more into that, because I don't have the backing of my community, because there are systems in place that have blackballed me because I won't play ball with their corrupt system, and because I'm not taking an oath, and because I'm not about to sell my soul through my booty hole. Pretty much. And so there's gonna be pretty much there's already a severe shadow ban of my work and of everything that I have ever done and said. Severe shadow ban, but it's even worse now. So it's the worst shadow ban that you would ever see. And so I have to accept that, and I have to realize that my own people will feed me to the wolves, even though I thought that I don't even want to talk about that I don't even want to go there, but I'm going to get more into, the spiritual teachings and approaching this thing more from a interdimensional sense, because the race-based consciousness, it's a real thing. The racial stratification system in which we have been dealing with as humans. Obviously, that is something of great concern. It's something that I have continuously spoken out about for Black Americans. However, I'm also noticing that the race-based consciousness is a construct. And the people that you think are behind the systems are not white. The people that you think are behind this, they got some explaining to do. That's all I'm gonna say. And a lot of the American Indians, they have been trying to wake that up about this Black European and about the blah 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 blah, and the Black Illuminati and the Black blah 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 blah. And everybody was looking at them, laughing at them, and trying to make it seem like they were fucking crazy. And I'm gonna let you know, for a minute, I was kind of questioning it too when, we come with the American Indian paradigm, and they were talking about, how I always knew it was Black people that started this system, as far as slavery and the Africans. And I already knew the Africans were behind that. I knew that, and I knew the Moors in particular was behind some fuck shit. But we talking about in today's time, these motherfuckers are still the hidden hand, and so I've seen that firsthand. I am literally attached to it through bloodline. And I'm not trying to speak out too much, but that shit is real. Like with Stokely, Stokely Carmichael. Oh, no, it's not Stokely Carmichael. Damn, it's another one. But you pretty much know that we've been talking about the Black Europeans for the last 3 years, and how they colonized America, and the things they were doing in Europe with the Moors, and how this African set all this stuff up in place. I better start really looking at that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say y'all really study that, Black Americans. Y'all really study that, and a lot of it is not out today. But what I know, I've been scared shitless with them trying to get me and to play ball, and with me having bloodline air ties of royal Black, the Black royalty. That's a real thing, and with me being direct descendant of that on very high levels, that is why my construction around the race-based consciousness is kind of blown to smithereens, because I know who's really running this, who's really behind it, and it's all a farce. It's pretty much and that's the part that really gets it, because people are like, oh, it's the group that they say run everything. Oh, it's them behind it. It's them running the scenes. It's them running Hollywood and running the government, blah blah blah. And then you have people that say, oh, it's white people that's doing this. It's just a white system, white supremacy, da 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 da. And for 31 years of my life, I believed that shit. And I'm telling you, within the last couple of months, based on what I have seen and experienced and know from very close hand, that is just not true. And that the most incredibly shocking, the most incredibly mind-blowing shit to wrap your mind around is that this system is secretly ran by Black motherfuckers that are royal, and that's running the whole thing, and they got more power than the people that you think got power. They got more power than those people. Now that is some shit for your ass, and you ain't gotta believe me. Ain't nobody gonna believe me. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I know what I know, and that's the part where your brain will split in half. You need some time to decompress. You need some time to really wrap that around your mind, especially if you've been one of them ones that's been on the front line and the white supremacy, and you get up there and you talk with the big hitters, and they come to you and you looking and they let you know. And these Black folk don't give a shit about none of that. This is business. This is power, nigga. What are you talking about? I don't care about that. And it's like, okay, uh, where do I fit in with this? I this is above my pay grade. This is above my pay grade. I ain't asked for this. I don't think I want this. Can I go back in the Matrix? Can I go back? Can I go back? No, you can't go back, nigga. You are God. You're not going back. You can't. You're too awakened now. What are you gonna do? And so, babies. I say that to say is to keep your head on a swivel. I'm not saying don't fight for your rights or just give up on your just due, because our bloodline has been fucked with as far as, this. Your bloodline has been sold out by your own. I'll say that. We have been sold out by our own. But when we talk about that lineage, that's very important. We talk about lineage based. And that's why I do want you to get out of the race space, because it is lineage. It is lineage for the Black American. And even for the African, but the Africans been that way. That's their business. I don't want to get into their stuff, but I'm saying for us in America, you really want to study that genealogy and the spiritual genealogy. And when those American Indians in particular, you guys want to laugh at them and call them, they're just self-hating. When they talk about the Moors, and when they talk about these Black Europeans, and when they talk about the Black Israelites or whatever, you might want to study that stuff if it pertains to your genealogy. If it pertains to your genealogy, you want to really look into that, and not write them, not be so dismissive, and some of the ones that want to dismiss you, they are the ones that know the truth, and they are the ones that are just agents just sent to shut you up, pretty much. So a lot of times when you get that pushback, and you're getting attacked, just know that most of the times those are the people that are just trying to protect our bloodline. But I will say that the Black American, this is lineage, and so I'm not discouraging you from fighting for your just due and reparations and whatnot. I am not saying don't do that. I'm not saying don't, because this is an unfair system. But what I'm saying is our own has sold us out at very high levels. It's not just the African and Black Europeans as well, royal bloodlines, Black bloodlines that are in on the deal to keep you at the bottom in this current day and age. And so, while that's the case, you're gonna have to pivot from so much of thinking that it's even it's race based, but even also being against that African. You might want to rethink that too, because I'm telling you, there are people within the we talk about the boule, we talk about, no, it's much deeper than that. I'm telling you that that we have been sold out by our own people of our own bloodline. We are from a royal, I'm telling Black Americans, we are from a very specific lineage, a very specific genealogy and bloodline. There is admixture. There are mixtures. But for some of us, we have just, to be quite frank, been sold out by our own. And they are still running the system. And they can care less about us. And they pick and choose who they want in it and who's out. And it's as simple as that. And so I keep fighting. I will assist in any way I can. But I will tell you this, Black American, I'm not lifting a finger if I don't get the loyalty out of this community that I need, and if I don't get the respect and the appreciation that I need. I cannot mule for you anymore. I've been muling for you. I've been given too much of myself, and I'm telling you right now, Black American, I'm telling this community right now, if you do not give me that proper love and that proper respect and that honor, if you cannot give that to me, as talented as I am in system-based thinking and communal thinking, organizational abilities, as much as I have to offer this community, I am not going to give you none of my energy if you cannot give me that proper love and respect and just due and honor and protection. Yes, protection. If you're going to throw me to the wolves and abuse me and then try to steal what I have, I am not blessing you. I am not working for you. I am not lifting a finger for you. But if you can give me what I am asking for of you, that loyalty, that transparency, that protection, and that respect, and that love, then I will go to that for you. Why not? But we gotta have a reciprocal relationship. We have to be reciprocal. You're not gonna mule me to death. And so that's my message for the Black American. It was heavy shit. It was heavy. It's gonna fly over most of y'all heads. Y'all gonna be, she crazy, she this, she that, she going to college, what the fuck ever. So now let's go into the services and amenities that you can expect to find in the Queen Mothership. And remember, these are the things of the common house. We're just getting very specific. So we have soul food Sunday dinners. We want to have soul food Sunday dinner where the residents and the intentional community will gather in the common house to enjoy delicious and comforting soul food dinner. I will cook. We will cook together. And this is just going to bring everyone together. We want to foster a sense of community and shared connection. Remember, we went to Big Mama's house and you always had Sunday dinner after church. You had pound cake, you had fried chicken, collard greens, black eyed peas, baked beans, mac and cheese. All of those things, candy yams. We're going to keep it healthy. So we may have baked chicken. We may have fish. I mean, it depends. Like with me, I'm not a stickler like that. I know that Black Americans want to be more healthy. So we don't always have to do like, fried chicken, fried catfish and stuff like that. If you guys want to do oxtails, if you guys want to do, neck bones and collard greens, lima beans, butter beans, whatever you guys want to do, we'll have a menu. We'll do this every Sunday. We can we'll have cornbread, and those are the things. I just want to have that intimacy, that foster that connection through food, through laughter, through joy and communion with people who are really genuine and really have love in their hearts. And so that is one activity that is to be expected in the intentional community of the Queen Mothership, is those Sunday soul food dinners. And again, we all come up with the menu. You guys want to do more healthy? You guys want to do traditional? Because everybody likes to say soul food is slave food. Soul food is not slave food whatsoever. Soul food, what is slave about fucking candy yams and collard greens? I really want you to tell me that. Good ass collard greens, turning up greens. What's slavery? What's so slave about that? You guys want to say that our ham hocks and our ham and things like that and whatever. People don't eat pork. You don't have to eat pork. Whatever. If you want to say fried chicken is slave food. Everybody in the world wants to eat fried chicken now. There's KFCs all over the world. You got Korean fried chicken. They copied off of that. That came from a black man over there in Korea. How is fried chicken slave food? How? Chickens grow everywhere, all over the world. You cut it, okay, we decide to put it in some buttermilk, we decide to put some flour on it, we decide to fry it. How is that slave food? So don't let nobody try to play us. People try to say that our soul food is so unhealthy, it's so unhealthy. Big Mama's living to 98 years old. Come on, we know living in their 90s and 100s, grew up eating that stuff. We're on our farms. I got my biological family, grandma, they had pigs, chicken and stuff. They grew up eating that stuff and whatnot. So don't let people try to play us. Soul food is not slave food. Soul food is food that nourishes the soul. It's been around for long times, even before slavery, because a lot of that stuff that comes from our indigenous background, especially that hot water bread, that cornbread. You ain't going to tell, and grits. And these are things that have been around for thousands of years. So how is cornbread slave food? Cornbread is good as fuck. And y'all all eating it, and y'all all wish y'all came up with that. But the Black American comes up with that, and cornbread is absolutely, soul food. And so, when we talk about shrimps and grits and all these things, let's not let people attack our culture like that. And so, soul food dinner, we're fostering culture, we're fostering love, we're fostering community in the Queen Mothership. And it's as simple as that, And so, the next activity that we have is Vegan Mondays. Now, again, this is more for those who prefer the plant-based meals, or those who cannot make Sunday dinner. For whatever reason, maybe Vegan Mondays are more suited for them, presumably after work. This is more health conscious eating and sustainability, where we're just offering nutritious vegan dishes. This may change from Monday to maybe like a Wednesday, because after Sunday we may need a couple days to debrief, and we may do vegan Wednesdays. We want to have a vegan day though, and because we want our children to know, plant-based living. We want them to know nutrition meals and whatnot, and so for those who are doing the plant-based thing, we also want to honor that. And so vegan right now is Vegan Mondays. We may change that date, so don't hold me to the date, but Vegan Mondays is certainly something that we would like to do. And I love like the vegan cheesecakes and stuff and vegan brownies. So we want to have like snacks like that and cook that for our families and for our children. And so the next thing that we have is Buckwild Fridays. That is an adult nightclub that we'll have in the Common House. Now, Friday nights in the Common House are dedicated to this adult night theme, where residents, we unwind, we socialize, we enjoy music and drinks in a very live atmosphere. And so it's a time for celebration, and it's letting loose. It's not gonna be like low rate vibrational nigga shit, but it is letting loose, playing spades, having a good funky time, playing chess, dancing, probably, you obviously will have food, celebrating, lots of music, good, nice music, relaxation. And so Buckwild Fridays, after a long week of work, a lot of the times we're going to be doing things for our community. You guys are going to be working, I'm going to be working, putting things together. And so that Friday at night, all night, we just want to relax and chill. It's be more like lounge atmosphere mixed with it'll be something good for the adults. Kids are not allowed, because you have to be 21 or up. So kids are not allowed, obviously. Now, the next event that we have is a kids slumber party. Now, kids slumber party, that is monthly, and I'm thinking it may be bi-weekly, but for now it's monthly. And the Common House will host it. Is a kid sleepover, providing a safe and fun environment for the children. So this is for them to spend time together, because they do have council meetings. Because remember, we have the council of children, so they will have council meetings. So they are actually going to plan their own slumber parties, ages 12 to 17. And they're going to spend time together and build friendships. And parents can have a peace of mind. We're going to have supervised activities. The kids are going to enjoy memorable sleepover. And remember, these are for kids. And so we have chaperones. We're thinking of some of our elder female, some of the more matronly grandma type. I personally will chaperone as well sometimes for the kids' summer party, because we want the kids. We have to understand, kids are very important to the universe and very important to God. And so I don't know if you guys remember when Michael Jackson had went off on Madonna about how the way she was talking to children. Ever, you remember when Michael Jackson, you don't ever talk to children that way. You don't ever talk to children that way. And a lot of people probably thought, it's not that deep. We holler at kids, we whoop our kids, we put their ass, blah, 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 blah. To me, as I understood the spirit behind that when he said that. Because a lot of the times, the way I see kids get treated and the way I see children's rights get violated, it's abhorrent to me. It's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you talked to a kid that way. I can't believe you treated a child that way. Or I can't believe you guys think it's okay to whip children. I'm stuck in the world where people literally think it's okay to hit children. And so, I'm not judging, because I understand that we all have been subjected to. I got my ass whooped growing up. I got plenty of ass whoopings, and I have doled out an ass whooping, regrettably, and I haven't done that in a while. I've gotten correction behind it. But so I'm not judging people who, kids can be very frustrating, and so I understand, you they say spirit rotted with all that stuff with the Bible, or whatever, and so people feel justified to whoop their child's ass. And so I don't want you guys to think that I'm judging you, or I think you're bad parents, I think you're bad, or because you guys are programmed to discipline your child a certain way. But I would say, with the reason why I emphasize like the children of the Council of Children and the Queen Mothership, and the kids slumber party, and kids' rights, and kids speaking up for themselves, and with learning respect. The kids have to learn respect for parent though, and learn respect for father and mother, and so I'm very big on using words and discipline through words and discipline through symbolic action, and so the reason why I emphasize the children so much, because they are very, very innocent and special in the eyes of the universe, as far as their closeness to God, coming from that ether realm, and going into further constructions of the matrix. But the children are the closest thing you can get to a purity, and so I respect their innocence. I respect their voice. And so when we have these slumber parties, it's very important that their safety. So when you have a bunch of kids at a sleepover, you want to make sure that they're protected, and that they have that things are running smoothly. And so I will be taking very much certain measures to make sure that these children's slumber parties are facilitated in a way that is peaceful and that is righteous. So I'll just leave that there, and we'll move on. And so the next activity is the gym. We do want our common houses to have a well-equipped gym for the residents to maintain their fitness routines. So we want, various exercise equipments, allowing those in the Queen Mothership and intentional community to prioritize their well-being. It's not a requirement that you go to the gym, but we want to have a gym in the common house. Something really nice: treadmills, weights, exercise bikes, you name it, top-notch equipment. We'll all pitch in to get this stuff, but we want something really nice. So Black Americans, if you're in my intentional community, you can go to the gym after school, go to the gym after work, and it's free. It's part of, obviously, the intentional community. So you don't have to pay for the membership. You don't for gym membership, but you also don't have to travel all the way out to go to a gym, because you have it right where you're living. You just have to go to the common house. You know what I mean? And so the next thing we want is the computer lab. We want to have a nice computer lab that is a top of the notch, printers, high speed internet. Children can go do their homework, especially the high schoolers. Those who need access to the computer lab. You can have your research. You can do your education. You can do your even we want to have it the computer lab where we even have virtual office space. For some of you guys who don't want to, you may work from home, but sometimes you might want to have an office space. We want to have that as well in some of the rooms in a computer lab. And we'll set up some sort of incubation space where we can facilitate that. But yes, we want a computer lab. We may have to siphon off into like age range, what I'm thinking. Some of the high schoolers can have their space, and the adults can have their spaces. We don't want to be mixing it too. We have high schoolers talking and being loud, and you got people that actually really want to do their work. So maybe the adults maybe. So we're thinking of that, but that's something that we want in a common house. And remember, the common house is going to be rather big. It's going to be more like a center. Surrounded by the intentional community of the Queen Mothership of Black Americans and indigenous who are living amongst one another in the Queen Mothership. And so that is the computer lab. Next we have a library. That's going to be very close to the computer lab, obviously. We want a diverse collection of books, including fiction, nonfiction, educational resources. We want to have a system where residents can borrow books, so they can read and engage in intellectual pursuits. And so the library is very important to the common house. We'll get books on a donation basis. We'll figure out a way to fill this library up with very good materials. We're going to be heavy material. With me, I'm very heavy, and so we're going to have some rare books, some rare finds, some esoteric material, excellent children's material that's enlightening in the library. So that is another component. The common house, we also want a daycare center, and that's going to provide professional and nurturing care for the young children. And that's something that we'll have to think about in great in detail in terms of how we run the logistics of that, because I personally, I've worked in a daycare center before years ago, a decade ago, when I was very young, but I don't have any full on, experience actually running one. And so we do want a daycare center in the common house, for our children, because again, when we're doing, certain events for the adults, or where we are working, we want to make sure that our children are being taken care of by our own, and within our village. And so that's why we want that daycare center, because then we know that we can drop our kids off, and there's video cameras, and we are vetting the person. Everyone, the people that's running this daycare would obviously be members of the Queen Mothership. So we will have supervision and whatnot, and we want to make sure that our kids are completely safe and in safe hands. So that is why we'll have a daycare center. We also have the Nakhti Church of the Higher Self. This is where on Sundays we'll gather for spiritual practices and meditation and community ceremonies. It's a sanctuary for reflection, connection, and exploring individual and collective spirituality. Now, as far as the Nakhti Church of the Higher Self, that is optional. You do not have to believe in anything. You can believe in whatever you want in the Queen Mothership. The Nakhti Church of the Higher Self is obviously sponsored. It's the Queen Mothership. It's a hand in hand, we'll have material on what that entails and what that means. There's a website coming soon. The whole the church will be available for you guys to go look at and see for yourself very soon. And if you guys don't want to participate in a sermon or a service, you don't have to. And you can still be in the Queen Mothership. It's just for those who want to do those meditation practices, who wants to hear a sermon. We do music, I'll be giving sermons. So it's pretty much just that. So it's Nakhti Church of the Higher Self. And in addition to Nakhti University and the Queen Mothership is the proponent of the community. It's an intentional community as well as an order. So we have the order that is more ran of like a high society club. And then we have the Nakhti Church of the Higher Self, which is more of our spiritual institution. And then we have Nakhti University, which is our education institution. And all of this goes hand in hand with what we're building. This is the energy of my forefathers coming through, as far as my royal bloodline, as well as the tides that some of the ancestors that have decided to help even give me the ideas to put all this stuff together. In particular, Saint Bernard, who was the founder of the Knights Templar, as well as the Cistercian order, and organized the governing body of Freemasonry. But he's also, a lot of you don't know, you may think that he's white. They make him seem white, but he was actually black. Saint Bernard, he has black markers, as far as what he revealed to me, as far as the Moorish blood. He has a lot of Moorish blood, and he did reveal that to me. But his pictures do look white. But believe it or not, he has funneled a lot of those who know, like those at the top, they know, like, how does she get all this information? How does she know all this stuff? Where is all this coming from? A lot of that has come from Saint Bernard. Yes, that is my ancestor, and he came to me, and he has been guiding me on setting up a lot of this stuff, because he has already done it in the past. He has already set up huge institutions, orders, churches, schools. He has already set up that before. So he has came to me and it's been very frank. Like, we have charged you with coming up with a whole new order that restores what the original was supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about truth and enlightenment and liberation and the Renaissance, the enlightenment, the education, the innovation, the progress, and that's what's missing in the world. And so I do thank Saint Bernard for helping me come up with that information, for being very transparent with me, and for me knowing without a shadow of a doubt that I am being guided by him, as well as some other high power entities and ancestors guiding this mission of female and male, God and ancestor, entity and, angel, whatever, however you name it. This is a heavy duty shit, and so, here we are. And I'm asking, you Black Americans and whoever at this point, beyond, your gender, beyond your race, and beyond your nationality and bloodline, for that support in ushering in this paradigm. And so, some additional services and amenities that we want the community kitchen in the common house for shared cooking and culinary activities. You are more than welcome to use the common house culinary kitchen. Even, obviously on the days that we have the dinners, the Sunday dinner and the vegan dinner, the kitchen's going to be occupied. But on the days where it's not, you are more than welcome to, set up, because we have clubs. You have the Black Men's Club, Black Women's Club, Bike Club, Investment Club. You guys might want to go in there and cook dinner one day, for yourself, for your club. And you reserve that, and you're more than welcome to do that and use the kitchen to have your own little dinners and meals. Same with the computer lab, same with the conference rooms. You're more than welcome to book them conference rooms and have your own private meetings, and again, when we talk about, like, this Queen Mothership and building that community, it's very serious. Another thing we want is an arts and crafts studio for residents to engage in creative pursuits. We do want arts and crafts. Nice little room where you can do the paint and sips, we want Black Americans to be able to have that arts and crafts. I think that's very, very, very important for us to express ourselves with art. And so we want a small studio with paints and various easels and, all types of stuff. Art, just you know what I mean? So that's another thing that we want, a whole room dedicated to that. We want obviously a lounge area for nice couch, nice huge TVs, for the lounge area for you guys to have, again, when it's not occupied and you guys want to watch a movie together, you want to plan something and go and together with your club or with your clique or with your crew in the Queen Mothership, you guys go and do that and watch a movie together and plan this stuff. This is a common house, but remember, a common house is more of like a center, for us. We're going to have some outdoor spaces, obviously gardens, playgrounds, patios. That is for us as well. And then, obviously, lastly, we want some conference rooms for community discussions, workshops, and events. And I think I covered that earlier. And so these are some of the activities. Again, it's not an exhaustive list, and I'm open to feedback and suggestions. So that is where we're at, and those are some of the activities. And I think that's good to start, so you have something, because again, we really want to emphasize that family bonding, that trust and that loyalty. Loyalty is very important to me. Trust is very important to me. Being very, 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 very genuine and vulnerable is very important to me. I don't want snake motherfuckers around this Queen Mothership. I don't want deceptive ass niggas around this Queen Mothership. I don't want jealous ass niggas around this Queen Mothership. This is for righteous souls, man. And now that I have more discernment than what I had in life, as far as being able to weed out, you start to really, you can spot when a motherfucker ain't for you, when a person ain't really, you know what I mean? And so, we have to do a great job of gatekeeping and making sure we have that discernment to make sure that we're not infiltrated. And a part of that is possibly having a certain way you go about your recruiting efforts, And so that is what I have for you, Black American, whoever's listening. I know some Africans listen to me. I want to say that, I thank you for listening to this whole video. If you listen to the whole thing, and I thank you for keeping that open mind, because it's very important that you keep an open mind with me, in particular, because I'm telling you, the stuff that my bloodline is caught up in. I'm in deep with stuff that I had no choice because of the family I was born into and the bloodline I was born into. And so you guys have to understand that sometimes where you may see me coming off like, oh, she don't went off the deep end. What is she doing? She talking off. She going off. A lot of that stuff is because I'm under straight, literal bloodline attack. Like attack because I'm not, following what I'm expected to do with my bloodline. I'm expected to pretty much go be a certain way, because this is a thing ran off of an order, and because I have held off as much as I can, because I want to stay free, and I want control over my destiny, and I want to do the righteous thing, and I want to do my mission that transcends even my bloodline, my ancient orders, that tend to be more intergalactic in terms of me ushering in the age of the divine feminine, enlightenment and peace and love for species across this universe, and as well as humanity, obviously. I have been born into a bloodline that could care less about that. I've been born into a bloodline that is like, power or else, or like, it's psychopathic and satanic. It's satanic. I don't know what else to say. And so, I have to fight against that, and so you guys have to bear with me, with that fight, with me staying righteous, and being up against that battle like that. So I don't mean to spring up too much information on you or to freak you out. I hope you understood what I was saying as much as in code. For those of you who have also been born into those bloodlines or psychopathic bloodlines, and you're like me, let's stick together. Because only if you know what I'm talking about, if you've been through what I've been through, and you have tried to stay out of the fray as well as much as possible, or you have fell victim to it, through no fault of your own, and you want to get out, I'm here as a way to figure out ways to do that. And I ask again that you guys continue to keep that open mind and to not judge me so harshly when you perceive me to be peculiar at times. Because again, I have been born into something that is way above my pay grade, and I'm realizing that. And it's heavy duty stuff. It's heavy duty, and I'll say that I love you guys. We'll stay. We'll do the Queen Mothership Part 9, and that's going to be about water procurement. It's going to be a little boring, but I think it'll be interesting for you guys who want to know more about like water and plans for water for the Queen Mothership. Like what are our plans? How do we plan to get water in the Queen Mothership? And so we're going to talk about that. And I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.